A lovely evening and thanks for joining us on the news update on 24 News Radio and Television at Ekiti. My name is Grace Nwafo. Beginning from Ekiti State. The Ekiti State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Oyebanji Filani, has said that the state government is stepping up efforts to make healthcare delivery attractive and accessible to people in all parts of the state, particularly the grassroots. Oyebanji said that the state government has employed 215 nurses, midwives, and community health officers. The commissioner spoke at Otun Ekiti on Saturday while rounding off a 2-day community mobilization and stakeholders engagement for residents of Ikere, South Ekiti Southwest, Moba, and Ilejemeje local government areas. He said the government offered free maternal health and childcare services as well as free laboratory test and malaria treatment for all residents at the 177 primary health centers across the state under the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund and Lerawa program of the state government. He urged the stakeholders to continue to encourage all health-seeking Ekiti residents to make use of health facilities in their communities for adequate and proper medical attention, as well as reducing mortality rate. While responding to the resident demand at the different health centers, Oyebanji said that ongoing renovations of PHCs would cater for complaints about electricity, water, and fencing, as all such had been incorporated. Oyebanji added that the state government had begun recruitment of doctors to strengthen health facilities. The General Manager of Ekiti State Health Insurance Scheme, Dr. Charles Doherty, said that services provided at the PHCs such as malaria treatment, immunization drugs, and commodities, among others, were free across the state. The state health educator, Dr. Busayo Ige, urged residents, especially pregnant women and nursing mothers, to make use of health facilities for their various health needs. Congress says it is fielding candidates at the 20 local government areas in today's local government election Supreme Court judgment. Report says that the Lagos State Independent Electoral Commission is conducting election in the 20 local government and 37 local council development areas in the state. A document obtained from LASEC shows that only 15 of the 19 political parties that initially expressed interest in the elections submitted candidate lists ahead of the poll. State ADC Chairman Mr. George Ashiru explained that the party's decision to field candidates in the 20 local government areas was guided by the Supreme Court judgment on local government autonomy delivered in 2024. He said the judgment reaffirmed the constitutional recognition of 774 local government areas across Nigeria, including the 20 in Lagos. He emphasized ADC's commitment remained to upholding the rule of law and constitutional provisions in its political activities and urged LASEC to conduct the election with transparency and impartiality. Report says the ruling All Progressive Congress APC remains the most represented party in the contest, fielding candidates in all 57 local councils and 376 wards. The People's Democratic Party PDP followed with candidates contesting in 45 councils and 259 wards. The Labour Party presented 22 chairmanship and 130 councillorship candidates, while the Zenith Labour Party has 6 chairmanship and 21 councillorship candidates. Other political parties were approved candidates as listed by LASEC include Accord, African Action Alliance, Allied People's Movement, and All Progressive Grand Alliance. Others were Social Democratic Party, National Rescue Movement, Young Progressive Party, Youth Party, Action People's Party, and the ADC. And from the southeast, the Imo State government has issued a directive to herders across the state to end open grazing on or before July 24, 2025, as part of efforts to promote peaceful coexistence and safeguard public order. The announcement was made by the Commissioner for Livestock Development, Dr. Anthony Mbahurike during a stakeholder meeting with cattle breeders and herders held in Owerri. Dr. Mbahurike emphasized the government's commitment to preserving social and economic stability while ensuring harmonious relations between farmers and herders. He stressed that herders must avoid the destruction of farmland and, in cases of accidental damage, offer prompt and adequate compensation to affected farmers. As part of the new regulatory efforts, Alhaji Shuaibu was officially recognized by the government as the new leader of cattle herders in the state. Dr. Mbahurike charged him with the responsibility of ensuring full compliance with the state grazing directive among all herders. In response, Alhaji Shuaibu thanked the government for its continued support and acknowledged the concerns raised over open grazing. The government reiterated that a new policy will be strictly enforced after the deadline, urging all stakeholders to comply in the interest of lasting peace and development. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has declared Rabiu Tijani, a 43-year-old native of Dala local government area in Kano State, wanted over his alleged involvement in a financial fraud amounting to $1.9 million. In a statement by EFCC spokesperson Dele Oyewale, Tijani is being sought for offenses bordering on conspiracy, obtaining money by false pretense, and money laundering. The commission revealed that the suspect's last known address was 59 Murtala Mohammed Way, Kano, but his current location is unknown. The EFCC has appealed to members of the public for credible information that could assist in apprehending Tijani. Citizens are encouraged to report to any of the commission's offices located in Ibadan, Uyo, Sokoto, Maiduguri, Benin, Makurdi, Kaduna, Ilorin, Enugu, Kano, Lagos, Gombe, Port Harcourt, and Abuja. Tips can also be sent via GSM number 080 933 22 644 or email info@efcc.gov.ng or reported at the nearest police station or security agency. The Commission also reiterated its commitment to tracking and prosecuting individuals involved in financial crimes, urging the public to assist in ensuring justice is served. This is still the news update on 24 News Radio and Television. More reports from the foreign and the world of sport will come your way after this break. Stay with us. Glad to know that you're still there. If you're just joining us, this is the news updates on 24 News Radio and Television. Over now to the foreign scene. The United Kingdom has introduced a new set of trade reforms aimed at making it easier for Nigerian exporters and other African countries to access the UK market, boost exports, create jobs, and support economic growth across the continent. In a press statement signed by the British High Commission Communications Officer Onyinye Madu on Saturday, the package, announced on July 10 under the Trade for Development Initiative, includes simplified rules of origin that allow developing countries like Nigeria to source raw materials and inputs from across Africa while still enjoying tariff-free access to the UK. This move is expected to not only strengthen trade with the UK, but also enhance intra-African trade, in line with the objectives of the African Continental Free Trade Area, which holds a $3.4 trillion market potential. According to the UK government, over €3.2 billion worth of goods were imported from African countries last year under its existing trade preference. The updated scheme, called the Developing Countries Trade Scheme (DCTS), will also offer support for African exporters to meet UK standards, navigate customs procedures, and benefit from future trade agreements, especially in areas like digital, legal, and financial services. The UK says the reforms are part of a broader strategy to grow trade with developing countries and help UK consumers access high-quality and affordable products. Launched in 2023, the DCT currently covers 65 countries, offering reduced or zero tariff on thousands of products. The announcement followed months of consultation with UK businesses, trade associations, and partner countries. The British High Commission in Nigeria described the reforms as a major step towards inclusive global trade and a stronger UK-Nigeria partnership. And from Cameroon, President Paul Biya on Friday decreed that Cameroon will vote in a presidential election come October 12. Biya, the de facto candidate of the Cameroon People's Democratic Movement, CPDM, of which he is a party leader, has neither confirmed nor denied whether he intends to run for an 8th term. Several long-standing supporters of Biya appear to be distancing themselves from the 92-year-old head of state, who has ruled the West African country with an iron fist for nearly 43 years. But the opposition is deeply divided and is struggling to unite behind a single candidate. There have also been 2 high-profile defections from Biya's camp in recent weeks. Employment Minister Issa Kairoma Bakari resigned from the government in June to stand in the election for his Front for the National Salvation of Cameroon (FSNC). Former Prime Minister Bello Baoba Maigari, an ally of Biya's for nearly 30 years, said he was standing for National Union of Democracy and Progress. Both Kairoma's and Maigari's parties were long-standing allies of Biya's CPDM, which has held power since independence in 1960. Also in the running are Maurice Kamto, who came second in the 2018 presidential election and is Biya's fiercest critic, and prominent opposition figure Gabriel Libi of the Cameroonian Party for National Reconciliation. Candidates have until July 21 to declare their intention to run for office. Russia fired more than 620 drones and long-range missiles overnight, killing 4 people, Ukraine said on Saturday, calling for fresh sanctions on Moscow to halt its record barrages. Kyiv and Moscow have stepped up aerial strikes over recent months, and US-led ceasefire talks aimed at pausing the over 3-year war has stalled. The Ukrainian Air Force said it had downed 319 Shahed drones and 25 missiles, adding that 1 missile and about 20 drones hit 5 locations. Zelensky said the strikes had killed at least 2 people and wounded 20 in Kensty, in the west, far from the front lines of the east and south. Local authorities said 6 people were wounded in Lviv, also in the west, while in the east, 2 people died and 3 were wounded in Kharkiv. And from the United States, President Donald Trump on Saturday threatened duties of 30% on products from Mexico and the European Union, 2 of America's biggest trading partners, in an ongoing tariff campaign that has upended global trade since he retook office in January. Trump has imposed a slate of tariffs on U.S. trading partners this year, then paused, modified, raised, or lowered them in a chaotic barrage of policy actions that has left everyone from major nations to individual Americans trying to figure out how to plan for the future, even as economic uncertainty grows. The EU and Mexico join a growing list of countries whose imports will face updated duties on August 1, since Trump began posting tariff letters on Monday with rates of up to 40%. In his letters to the EU and Mexico, Trump said that all imports were subject to the 30% tariff, including sectorial tariff, such as the 25% auto tariff. Meanwhile, products from Mexico have mostly been able to enter the country duty-free, granted they were compliant with the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement Trump negotiated in his first term. The Trump administration has taken particular issue with value-added and digital services taxes, which are prominent in several EU member countries. A 30% tariff on the EU is more than 20% reciprocal tariff, which goods from there faced before Trump paused them in mid-April. The letters of the EU and Mexico come after Trump threatened 35% tariff on some Canadian goods on Thursday. Palestinian Ministry of Health and an eyewitness says Israeli settlers killed a 20-year-old Palestinian-American man in the West Bank as settlers' violence against Palestinians ramp up in the occupied territory. The health ministry said 20-year-old Safola Musalet was killed after he was severely beaten by settlers in the town of St. Gil, north of Ramallah. A friend of the deceased told newsmen he was with Musalet and took him to a hospital in Ramallah, adding the young man was an American citizen born in Tampa, Florida. Israel's military said it was aware of reports regarding a Palestinian civilian killed and a number of injured Palestinians as a result of the confrontation, and they are being looked into by the Israel Security Agency. Musalet's family is demanding that the U.S. State Department lead an investigation into the incident. Following the attacks, the Palestinian Ministry of Foreign Affairs criticized what it called Israel's expanding settlement project in the occupied territory and called for urgent action to hold the perpetrators of settlers' violence accountable. Israel has recently ramped up military operations in the West Bank, displacing tens of thousands of Palestinians and raising entire communities as it targets what it says are militants operating in the territory. And now from the world of sport. Manchester United on Friday announced new squad numbers for some of their players. In a post on their website, the Red Devils announced that youngster Tyler Fredson and Chido Obi will be wearing new shirt numbers in the new season. Defender Fredrickson is moving from number 55 to number 33 after his impressive display last season. The 20-year-old academy graduate got his Premier League debut against Wolves in April and also started in their away game at Brentford. Similarly, Obi only finalized his move from Arsenal's academy last November, will wear the number 32 shirts in the new season. The 17-year-old had worn the number 56 following his move from the Gunners. The latest changes follows the news that Diogo Dalot will wear number 2, while Matthews Connor will wear number 10. The likes of Shea Lacy, Bendito Mantato, and Reese Munro were given 61, 70, and 65 squad numbers. And that is a wrap on the news update on 24 News Radio and Television. Don't forget you can always like, share, and drop some comment in the comment section. And of course, invite your friend to follow the page for more interesting updates. My name is Grace Nwafor. Do stay tuned for the rest of the broadcast. Good evening.
From Abuja to Lagos, Sokoto to Port Harcourt, Enugu to Ilorin, all across Nigeria, we bring you news and information that will make your